My name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info.
Someone? It's tonight.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria Info.
Ideally, it is 10:30, and it's time for us to talk about something very important. It's electable ideas. Of course, you know that the elections are around the corner, and we want a lot of things changed. We are hopeful and expectant that this and that will happen. I'm sure you listened to Omar's call when he called in not too long ago. And if you're just joining in for the first time, we don't know what the show is about. Well, we're just basically discussing topics, basically bringing and discussing. It cuts across all shows on 95.1 Nigeria Info, discussing electable ideas that could actually bring about improvement and change and better living in our dear country, Nigeria. And feel free, because we're live right now, Facebook, we're Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook. On YouTube, it's also Nigeria Info Abuja on YouTube. Okay, feel free to join in live and feel free to participate. You can also call in on the phone line. And tonight on the show on electable ideas, we're going to be discussing something very interesting, and it simply is how can the income, rather, we're discussing the full implementation of the Child Rights Act. Yes, you know that children are the future generation, and they actually consist of a majority group of the society. And of course, it won't be out of place for us to ensure that their welfare and development is important. Of course, we're putting that out there to ensure that, they live well and their development is essential, and their welfare and all that. Of course, this is going to bring about a better future for the society. And now the Child Rights Act was passed in the National Assembly in 2003, right? It was passed in 2003, and it's domesticated in about 34 states of the 36, out of 36 states. And one major challenge, which is what we're discussing tonight, is the full implementation of this Child Rights Act. Now, the thing is, a lot is going on, right? Effective child development is centered on education. Yes, it's centered on education, and to improve, of course, education, basically to improve the mental and physical development of the child. What kind of system can improve our educational system? Now, this Child Rights Act, somehow I kind of feel that not many people, even in the education, in the line of education, are aware, because you still see videos or hear of situations where children are beaten mercilessly by their teachers, in school. And from talking with professionals and child rights activists, I found out that, that even smarking or corporal punishment, has actually been struck off in the Child Rights Act, and that there are specific ways that children should be smacked on the behind or on the palms. And in fact, I heard that there are even certain amount of strokes, that you'll be giving. How many of these educators or teachers are aware of these things? Okay, how many are aware of which even the parents, it's not even so easy for teachers as well, in the sense that even the parents too, not many parents can withstand the fact that, their children, misbehaved and maybe the child was smacked, maybe 3 strokes on the palm or three strokes behind and all that. And when we talk about this Child Rights Act, the kids involved are talking about kids from, below age 18. Yes, so what can be done also for these children to access justice? A lot is going on out there. People who employ children that are not even meant to be, that are underage as house helps, and also treating them badly. You see videos flying up and down and all that. So how can this Child Rights Act be fully implemented? How can it be fully implemented? It's very important, right? Because see, the child rights, if you're wondering what it is, it simply includes the fact that, the way children should be treated. Children are human beings. They're part, like I said, they're a major part of this, of the society, okay? And how they are treated is very important. People tell they're not picking that child. No, it's not just a child, or she's not just a child, okay? She's also a human being. And look, this child rights mandates that when a child is concerned, their best interest, okay, is to take precedent, basically. So you've got to be very, very aware and know about these things. Are you aware? Let's talk about how this Child Rights Act can be implemented. There's just so much happening out there. And a lot of people are not even aware of how to do this and how to do that. 0700 951 0000. That's the number to call. 0700 951 0000. How do you think that this Child Rights Act can be fully implemented? Okay, yes, and also you can send me a message via WhatsApp. Let's talk. Hello.
Yeah, Black Coffee.
Yes, please.
This is Barrister Hassan.
All right, Barrister Hassan, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Airport Road.
All right, let's talk.
Yeah, you see, this year, Rights Act.
Yes.
It was, or it is a federal legislation.
Mm.
And the states were supposed to, you see, Obasanjo did a lot of, the states were supposed to domesticate, the act as law. But you see, many of these states are conservative in nature. And I'm sorry to say, most of the states are from the north.
Mm.
Understand?
Okay.
It's, the act actually stipulates the rights of children. It went to great length to, enumerate the rights that children are entitled to.
Okay.
And one good thing about the act is that apart from the rights of children, it also stipulates duties of children. These are African settings.
Okay.
That, a child should do this, must do this, respect others, do that.
Yeah.
And one of the rights that we must actually highlight, that of access to education.
Mm.
Understand? And you see children going up and down now. Most of them have no. That's why, we must look at the state of our educational facilities and the fact that when children are roaming the streets, simply because the parents cannot afford education. Understand? Access to education must be, it should be implemented. Apart from the Child Rights Act.
Mm.
Also, if you go to the Constitution, Chapter 2 of the Constitution,
Okay.
you understand? It's also clear. And there it's stated that access to education at all levels shall be implemented when possible. When possible, you're looking at the finances. whether the government can, can implement free education at all levels.
Okay.
So I'm just picked one of the rights to highlight that a child is entitled to education.
Yeah, very true.
So, so what we should be looking at now is, apart from all the states domesticating this child act, we must also be looking at, the fact that there are duties, embedded in the act. Understand?
All right.
That the church should actually implement. Understand? It's not just a matter of, okay, I have rights. You must balance those rights with duties. Understand?
All right.
To form a balance.
Okay.
So, that's the way I look at it. So, we will have duties as parents, as leaders, and as teachers to ensure that these rights are enforced and obeyed and adhered to.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Hassan. Thank you for your
God bless
thoughts.
us.
God bless us too. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Blaq.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Yes, Waka Waka from Lambata.
All right. Great to hear from you, Waka Waka. Let's talk.
Yes, Blaq Coffee.
Yes.
I don't think the Child Rights Act is domesticated in all the states.
Yeah, I mentioned that it's domesticated in 34 out of the 36 states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we are talking about child rights as regards to education. But one thing is sure, Blaq Coffee.
Yeah.
If you don't have structures in place, basic structures in place, there is no how you can implement some of these rights. Talking about education, for instance, over millions of children are out of school. The parents cannot afford their kids or whatever, or cannot afford seeing them going through the educational system because of the school fees and what have you. Like way back in my own days,
Yeah.
when I was below 18 years, I was in school. Then we were paying for boarding fees, 50 naira.
Okay.
Somewhere in the National Grammar School in Bayelsa, River State there.
Okay.
50 naira for boarding fees. Then some parents cannot afford it. Not to talk of now that school fees have skyrocketed, facilities are not there for the training of these children, even in the higher institutions. Facilities are lacking. A lot of structures are dilapidated, and nothing is happening. What rights are we enforcing in a situation like that? We are not even talking about the health of these children. We are just talking about education now. It's very unfortunate. And my contemporaries who enjoy free facilities that were led by the colonial masters who are in power now are doing nothing to help these children. Some few states where they have been able to put structures in place, they think they are doing the people favor, which is their basic right, the entitlement, their dividend of democracy. But it's unfortunate that the old people of our own generation are not taking the educational and the health facilities that will help these children to be groomed up and become the true leaders of tomorrow. They are not taking them serious. And they come every now and then, campaign, make promises, and at the end of the day, nothing happens. Very unfortunate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Waka Waka from Lambata, for your thoughts. Remember, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Both Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info Abuja. That's what it is, Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so please feel free to give your take or contribute to the topic at hand. And remember that you can always call in as well, live in the studio here. The numbers to call, 0700 951 0000. And you can also reach calling on the show via 0809 597 4869. How can the Child Rights Act be fully implemented? All right, look, I mean, remember the lawyer in Lagos who was murdered on Christmas Day? Now imagine, may her soul rest in peace. Now imagine what her children, what it will be like for the children. Because whether you like it or not, these kids also need to get a level, some kind of, attention, professional attention. Because after experiencing or hearing stories like that, there's a tendency for them to hate policemen. This is just an illustration on it or an example. Kids, what are the plans made, for the development, mental health of these children? Children, in fact, I never really heard anybody really say, there's this mental health care for kids, or there's a level of mental evaluation. I understand that they're pretty young, but some people will say, these children are just young children, they will get to forget. But they're human beings. And look, whether you like it or not, they have minds and they will never forget certain things. These children are very important. So let's check and see your take so far on Facebook and also on the WhatsApp portal. All right, I see something here from Sumba Badmos. Sumba says, so what happened to a lady of 17 years old who had a baby of a month old that was unfortunate in the last week's shooting in California? When the Soibo will be telling us marriage? Okay, I really don't get that one. Hello? Okay, now when we're talking Child Rights Act, now, one of these things is actually, this Child Rights Act includes the fact that a child has a right to survival, a child has a right to a name, a child has a right to a family, life, private life, dignity, recreation, cultural, gets a right to cultural activities, health services, and also education, right? They are very important. How do you think it is? How do you think that this can be implemented? I'm talking the Child Rights Act. So someone said, Obong from Nyanya, sending, who's there? Okay. How full children implementation works. I don't get that as well. I'm sure there's a typo somewhere. 0700 951 0000. Remember that these children are the future. And if we don't treat them right, to enable them access to basic important things, okay, and treat them right and raise them properly and enable them, in fact, be conscious of their developmental health, the mental development and physical development, education, and all that. Look, it's going to tell on the society. It's going to tell on the society. And I hear of some form of abuse sometimes on social media. You hear stories, you watch videos, you read stories. This child was abused, this child underwent this and that. And you hear, okay, the perpetrator was arrested. What happened after it? What happened after that? This is something we should pay proper attention to. They're not just children, they are human beings, okay? So how can the Child Rights Act be fully implemented? Hello? Hello, good evening. I wish you same. What's your name and location, please?
Please never give up. I'm calling from Cuba.
All right, great to hear from you. Let's talk.
How?
Work is good.
Great.
All right, you've done good. Thank you so much for calling in. Hello. All right, 0700 951 0000 0700 951 0000. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Blaq.
Good evening. What's your name and location? Sorry, I didn't get that. All right, great to hear from you. Let's talk.
Yes, Blaq is talking about the child right, right?
Yes.
The Child Rights Act is a good thing. But then, the society we live in, I think churning out laws is not enough. But what matters is implementation. Even though it's domesticated in some states, it's like an act that doesn't even exist. Because to some, they think it negates our culture, where children cannot talk, cannot express themselves in the midst of elders.
Okay.
In a civilized world where these things happen, where child rights act is fully implemented, the rights encompass a lot of things. But when you look at our own society, these rights have been abused on daily basis. Like, have you taken a stroll to our schools, maybe nursery, primary, and see what goes on there? It will amaze you that these children are brutally abused on daily basis. They look haggard, they look hungry. Some of them don't even have structures over their heads where they school. How do you school in such a situation and come out the bright and reformed person? So let's not talk about it, because the government of the day is doing little or nothing to make sure that the Child Rights Act is implemented or is happening in the state. It's a pity, I must confess to you. This right is not existing here. Let's just tell ourselves this truth. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your thoughts, my brother. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, I've also seen videos, I'm sure you have stumbled upon them on social media, some certain states where the children really barely even have a classroom. And it's raining, it pours on them because you're under a tree and all that. And all this is actually not so good. Health-wise for the children, educationally, how do they even get to really learn and understand what is even really, or even being taught properly in such a state? Hello?
Yeah, Black Coffee.
Yes, please.
Please give me just, because I've called before. This is by the time. Just give me 1 minute to add to what I said.
All right, Barrister Hassan, go on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You see, the question that you asked, the cardinal issue was now how can the Child Rights Act be implemented? You see, jurisprudence actually teaches us that the implementation of law comes from sanctions. Understand? When you put sanctions on the fraudsters, they will forced to implement it. Look at those days, we have the issue of sanitary inspectors that used to go around to enforce cleanliness in the compound, in the rural community. So, when you see, when a parent defaults in terms of provisions of charge, you enforce sanctions. Everybody will force to sit up. Understand?
Yeah.
And I did saying that it takes a village to raise a child.
Very true.
So, which means, what does it mean? You know, it means Senegalese proverb that Hillary Clinton actually decided to highlight in a book or something. Understand? So the whole community must be sensitized that there are certain rights that children are entitled to. Then coupled with sanctions. When you put sanctions for defaulting, for violating provisions of the Child Rights Act, everybody will be forced to sit up. Understand? So that's my take. Let me not say no, forgive me for So
all right.
Just enforce sanctions against defaulters. Everybody will be forced to sit up.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Hassan. Yes, I'm with you on that one. You know, it's high time actually that sanctions are put in place and followed through for people who actually abuse these children and violate their rights, their human rights, because they're human beings and they're entitled to living to the best life. And you see, yes, the government. Because the question now is, how can the Child Rights Act be fully implemented? You know, people need to actually bear the brunt of their whatever they've done or their whatever it is, whatever wrong they have done or they do, concerning to the children or to a child, and it's very important. And somehow, by the time the sanctions are followed through and punishments are actually followed through and given, I think people will be able to learn and know that, look, this is totally wrong. And whether you like it or not, looking at these children and saying, oh, they're children, so we'll just, I can just get away with anything. These children grow up, and actually these experiences that they've had can actually affect their person, as adults, can affect them as adults. So we need to be very careful what we do to these children. They're very important, very, very important to the society. And you know how life is. What you give is what you get. You bring up the children right, treat them right, you get the best of the society. Yes, it's been awesome with you on the show, Electable Ideas. And make sure you get your PVCs and make sure you go out there and do the needful when the time arises. All right. Thank you for being on the show with me. It's still Tonight with Black Coffee. Spans to 1 a.m. All right. Let's have a lovely Friday night. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the